Today we're going to cover 6 ways that you can manifest your wildest dreams, and they're going to be backed by neuroplasticity, quantum physics, and we're going to give you a few bonuses at the end of this conversation to actually show you the reason why you might be repelling your manifestations. So with that, let's get into today's conversation. What's going on, guys? Welcome to our podcast, Walking Manifestator. I am your host, Binga. And in this podcast, I am on one mission and one mission only, and that is going to help you awaken your truest and highest self. Embrace and embody your true power and help you elevate to a completely new consciousness. A transformational journey with the Walking Manifestator you are born to be. Now, the first point I want to talk about is going to be rewire your identity. Why is this important? Well, let me read something to you. Neuroscience shows that brain operates based on identity and prediction. If you, in this case us, right? You're still identifying with your past limitations, you keep repeating them. Now, this is actually also backed by Dr. Joe Dispenza's work. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Meaning, if you've been conditioned in the past to be this person that focuses on lack, that focuses on all the things that you don't have, and you're constantly focusing on the fact that you're maybe not happy with your weight, or maybe you're not happy with the acne you have, maybe you're not happy with the way that your nose looks, whatever it is. That identity was shaped based off either people that told you that, because it wasn't like you were a baby and thinking, oh, my nose is not pretty. No, you grew up, you started comparing yourself to how other people perceived you, and now you took on that identity. You feel less than whoever it is that you're comparing yourself with. Why is this important? You cannot manifest anything when you haven't taken the action steps to create a new identity. This is why I always talk to all of my students about how the reason why I was able to really scale from $16,000 at one point in my life to scaling past my first 7 figures was I had to create a new identity. The old Alexa that was stuck in survival of the fittest, that was stuck hating everybody, that was stuck blaming everybody, wasn't the same Alexa that manifested that quantum leap. And a lot of people talk about quantum leaps being this very confusing thing. Here's a reality. A quantum leap is simply you choosing to become a new person. It's simply you choosing to embody the new actions. This is why when people talk about vision boards, personally, I've seen a lot of people in the industry change that term to an action board, because think about it, sitting here and just looking at a, document that you created, or a vision board in this case, it's telling you about all the great things that are going to happen in your life, but you're not taking the time to actually sit here and say, okay, what are the action steps that I need to take in order for me to make this a reality? You see, when I decided that I needed to create a new identity in order for me to really manifest a different outcome, because I was so tired of the output that I was putting into my life, I had to decide, who is this next version of me going to look like? And it wasn't like I was intentional about it, if I'm being honest with you guys, because I didn't really know a lot of the work that I know now. But at that time, I was just so fed up with who I was. I was just so fed up with the people that I had around me. I was fed up with the money that I had in my bank account. I was fed up with the energy that I felt every single day, waking up, overwhelmed, stressed, that I said something has to give. Why is this so important in your manifestation journey? Is because you cannot create anything if you are not embodying a new identity. What is it that you want to manifest? Let's say it's, $100,000. You want to make your first $100,000, or maybe you're looking to start your business, or maybe you're looking for your significant other. All of these are going to be still connected to your identity. Let's use a partner, for example. How can you expect to attract a partner into your life that is not in vibration with you? Let's just say you want somebody that's smart, somebody that is, making a lot of money, maybe somebody that's very witty. Okay, now ask yourself, what are the qualities that I currently possess that are going to help me be a match to that person? Because if you're being honest with yourself, which I had to be very honest with myself, when I took a long look at the mirror and I saw all the qualities that I was embodying, going out, drinking, not taking care of myself, not working out, not doing the things that were really helping me become a better version of myself. I remember I hated to read. Those were the things that I was embodying. Therefore, how could I expect some knight, charming prince, right? This knight in armor to come and actually say, oh, this is a person that I would love to marry. This is very important because as I've continued in my journey and as I've had people that I've dated, that I've talked to, I know the level of quality of men that I'm attracting is day and night from the people that I was attracting at one point in my life. And I used to think it was them. I used to think that they're the problem, that everybody was a problem except me. So I needed to create a new identity in order to really manifest a new reality for me. Remember this, your thoughts create your reality. Now, point number 2 that I want to make today is your reticular activating system is going to be your best friend. Let's just wrap our heads around this. Our brain processes over 11 billion bits of information. That means that our brain is a filtration system. What it does with the RAS, okay, our RAS in our brain is actually filtering out all the information that isn't in alignment with us. This is a reason why when somebody's talking to you about being a chef and you're not really interested in being a chef, you're like, oh, that's cool, dude, yeah. And then you kind of change the conversation. Or it's the reason why sometimes when you're trying to buy a new car, all of a sudden you see that car everywhere you go. I remember when I was comparing buying my car that I currently have, that's my dream car, I was looking at a Porsche Taycan and I was looking at the Model S. I kid you not, everywhere that I would drive, I would see the freaking 2 cars. I was like, what in the world is happening? The reason for that is because your RAS, reticular activating system, is acting as a bouncer. It essentially is keeping out all the information that doesn't actually align with you, and it's allowing in all the information that does align with you. This is a game changer because this is a reason why a lot of us, we're in lack, we're in scarcity, we're in survival, meaning that we're focusing on everything that we don't have, that we continue to attract more of what we don't have. Think about that. This is a reason why sometimes you feel like, man, I just can't catch a break. Man, I just don't have time. Man, I just can't study. I just can't work on this. My kids are driving me insane. My partner is driving me insane. All these things that you're constantly telling yourself is actually what you're manifesting. And I want to give you a fun little activity that I read in Mel Robbins' book that I really loved, which is today, after you're done watching this episode, go outside and find a heart. I am telling you, you're going to find a heart. The first time I did it, I was on a hike and I literally saw this big rock that was like a huge heart. I was like, oh my goodness, this is freaking crazy. I can't believe it actually works. This is how your reticular activating system works. And if you can just start getting familiar with this and using it to your advantage versus using it against you, you're going to start filtrating more opportunities. Because if you're looking to manifest more money or your significant other, you need to get very clear on what it is that you do not want and now what it is that you do want in your life. And if you're somebody that has been conditioned to think everybody leaves, nobody loves me, I'm unlovable, well, what you're actually going to do is that you're going to continue to repel these opportunities and you're going to see all the reasons why nobody loves you. You're going to see all the reasons why you don't have a better job. But when you can train your RAS to work for you, it can become your best friend. Now, point number 3, according to quantum physics, okay, our energy, in this case, you, who you are, okay, emits a frequency. This means that your body does not know the difference between what is actually happening and what is fake. Now, why do the two correlate? Because think about it this way. If you're trying to listen to a certain radio station and you're tuned into the wrong radio station, do you think you're going to listen to the cumbias that are playing in one radio station versus the country music that's playing on another one? No, you're going to end up listening to the frequency that you're tapped into. This is why when you can create a new identity, when you can train your RAS, and you can actually understand that your thoughts, your feelings, and emotions play a huge factor into your manifestation journey, you start creating new habits that allow you to really tune in to the right frequency. Now, something that I have really taken the time to remind myself of doing every single day and before I go to bed is practicing gratitude. Gratitude is the highest form of appreciation. It's the highest form of frequency that we have. And what that does is instead of signaling to the universe, to God, to source, whatever you believe in, oh, why didn't you give me a better job today? Why didn't you give me a better opportunity today? Why did you let things hit the fan the way that they did? you take a moment of gratitude to say, thank you for the fact that I'm alive. Thank you for the fact that I am here. Thank you for the fact that I get to connect with amazing people. Thank you for the fact that I have my kids that are healthy. Thank you for the fact that I have shelter, that I have water. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I am telling you, going into this type of energy really helps you, because now you get better clarity on what actually you have versus everything that you don't have. And Tony Robbins talks about this in his 6 human needs. He always says how as humans, we're always focusing on what we're lacking versus on what we have. And if you can start training yourself out of that habit, you are going to be that much closer to your manifestation. Okay, now number 4, use neuroplasticity to break old habits, old loops. What do I mean by this? Okay. So it's been proven that even if you're an adult, because I used to believe that once you're an adult, you can't change and that's just the way you are. Boy, was I wrong. I used to believe that you couldn't change, but it's been proven by neuroplasticity that your brain can adapt. The only thing is that you need to bring emotion. This is very, very important, and repetition. So think about it. Whenever you are thinking of, I don't know, going and running a marathon, or you're like, Alexa, I've never thought of that in my life. I don't know why that came to my mind. But let's just say you've been thinking of becoming a better communicator, okay? And let's say you've been used to communicating with slang, right? You're like gonna, funna, finna, all these little things that I used to use. That's why this is coming to my mind. But let's say the moment that you start trying to recondition yourself to use like better, more sophisticated language, right? What's going to happen is that if you don't tie in something emotional to it, it's not really going to make the same effect that it would as if you were to remember something with a high level of intensity in terms of the emotional side of it. So for example, whenever I've really burned into my subconscious a belief geared around how to improve myself, I've noticed that those beliefs came from me at one point feeling a lot of lack. Like I remember when I started losing weight, my reason for changing my weight at that time was because I remember that I was very bullied when I was younger. I was bullied when I was a little girl. I was bullied geared around, you're so whatever it is, right? You're so fat, you're so this, you're ugly. All of these things that were in my mind constantly, I remember that at the time where I started losing weight, it was connected to this emotional pain that I had. Now, I'm sharing this with you because I actually had to design a new approach for that for myself so that I wouldn't just focus on everything that was bad about that reason of the situation that happened, but actually understand that actually, if I get to use it for something positive in this moment, I can learn something from this situation. I can learn something that is going to help me really embody a better version of myself. Now, let me give you a practical example. When you're trying to use neuroplasticity to essentially create new repetition, you want to bring emotion into it. This is why a lot of people don't manifest what they want, because they're telling themselves, oh, I'm so abundant, and oh, I have the nice house on the hills, and I have the nice car, and I have all these clients, but they're not feeling the emotion. And as I mentioned earlier, the only way that you can really bring something into your field, into your magnetic field in this case, is going to be to also do the action steps, right? The action steps that allow you to get into that new identity, into that new reality, but also the emotions that you're bringing with it. So for example, whenever I'm making these videos, I'm not just thinking, this is a video just for me in my closet and I don't want it to go to anybody. No, I'm bringing the intensity of me sharing this information with you, whether it was one of you or whether it was a million of you. Why? Because I'm passionate about this work. So the same level of intensity that you want to see from other people, you have to be willing to give to yourself. So if you can start understanding that, again, doing something as a daily practice, it's going to really allow you to create new habits, such as what we've already talked about for the next 21 days, you're going to see the difference in your life, because now you're creating a new reality for you. You're creating micro steps to help you in that journey of really manifesting that into your life. Now, the 5th point that I want to make, and I'm going to read something to you. Habits are formed through cue, routine, and reward loops in the basal ganglia. Now, stacking a manifestation habit onto something you already do is going to boost your success. So let's just say we're talking about you trying to create a new habit, right? And you're in this mindset geared around, Alexa, I don't like to go to the gym. Well, what you can do is create a micro habit. Let's say maybe you don't go to the gym, but maybe you start working out and you watch a YouTube video of this amazing trainer that's doing an easy, gym starting session, right? Where it's like, okay, it's something very light. It's nothing too intense. It's just getting you in the habit of going back to the gym. What that is doing is that you're creating something pleasurable with the new identity that you're looking to manifest. In this case, if you're showing up for yourself, after a week of consistently showing up and just going to your living room and doing the sit-ups, what's going to happen is that gradually, as you get into week 2, you're going to probably say, you know what? I've actually been feeling really good. I want to now go to the gym. I want to now go outside and maybe get around other people. This is very important because I remember in my journey when I first started, I felt really insecure going to the gym. I hated going to the gym because there was amazing girls there that looked amazing and I didn't feel amazing. I didn't love myself. I didn't feel worthy. And what that was doing is that I was marrying that feeling with the intention of going to the gym. When I finally started doing a lot of my internal healing, a lot of my internal work, I realized that just because they were pretty didn't make me any less pretty. Just because they were more in shape didn't mean that I couldn't actually get in shape. And why this is important is because I've said this before, when you're acting in this energy of lack and scarcity and envy and animosity, what you're doing is that you're repelling that energy in your life. And you're actually attracting more of it. So what I mean by this is, let's say you're focusing on why that girl is so pretty, and therefore in your mind you think, well, this is why I should envy her because her being pretty actually makes me uglier. It's the opposite. You admiring her actually makes you that much stronger, that much more feminine and more magnetic, because you're not actually ashamed of somebody else. You actually see that as, this is a reason why I can do the thing. In this case, let's say money, right? Like, let's say they have this really nice car, they have this really nice life. Instead of envy the person, you can actually sit here and say, you know what? They did that. They were able to accomplish that. Therefore, I can do the same thing because just like her, I have a brain, I have 2 hands, and I'm able to go ahead and show up. These are the little things that are really going to allow you to start focusing more on the energy that you want to attract versus the energy that you do not want in your life. Now, tip number 6 is going to be stop waiting and start living. Why is this so important? Because a lot of us are just so consumed with everything that we don't have in our life, everything that we're lacking in our life. And what we do, as we've talked about in this video, repetition is so important, okay? But I really want to give you a lot of different examples. What you're doing is that you're repelling more of that abundance into your life. So in this case, if you're actually thankful for the things that you have, you created a new identity, you've been doing the micro habits to get you to that desired outcome, you've been anchoring in new habits. Now what you're doing is that you have quantum shift. You have literally quantum leap from this point in time in which you were in scarcity and lack and focusing on everything that you don't have, to now this new point in your timeline where you're actually thankful for all the things that you have and you're showing up for yourself. And maybe it doesn't look perfect and maybe it's not ideal, but it doesn't matter because you're showing up for you. And this is what I really have seen in my journey. When I'm comparing myself to somebody else's chapter 20, my manifestations shrink. My manifestations block. Why? Because I'm focusing on everything that other people have versus focusing on what I already have. If you can do these action steps, I am telling you, you are going to be in a much better place because now you're actually embodying the frequency of that you're looking to manifest into your life. And at the end of the day, just remember this. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And if you can learn from that situation in which you are in and just take the information that is going to serve you to allow you to get into the next level, this is really how you start seeing a different you. And this is really how you start being proud of yourself because you've done the internal work, you've shown up for yourself, you continue to show up for yourself in spite of everything that's happening for you. And a last little bonus that I really want to share with you is make sure that you're getting clarity on what is your dream life. A lot of us talk a big game about, oh, this is what I would love to have in my life. This is what I would love to manifest. But where are you right now, and what are the steps that you can actually take to allow you to get to that destination? And two, what are the stories that you're subconsciously telling yourself? Because if you're subconsciously telling yourself things geared around, I'm not worthy, I need external validation, I need that new shiny object, all you're doing is bringing more of that lack into your life. And this is why internal healing for me has been a game changer. I've done a lot of work, and this is why I put together the courses that I have, which really allows me to get a better understanding of where I am in my journey, where I'm going, and what are the stories that have been holding me back for as long as they have. And of course, I just want to say thank you so much for those of you that stuck around for the entire video. If you do have any questions, please feel free to drop them down below. I am constantly checking those messages. And of course, just remember that you 100% can manifest anything you want. And I promise you, if you continue to show up, you are going to arrive exactly at the destination in which you were meant to arrive to. Hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one.